it's Shawnee. Welcome back. I figured I would do just a bit of a get ready with me and chat. I had my first ever mammogram today. I'm going to tell you about it. I feel like no one really talks about stuff. And so going in, I wasn't sure what's going to happen. You know, how much are they going to flatten my boobs? But interestingly, when I went to my yearly women's health exam to check out all my lady bits, one of the doctors was like, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, the only thing is there's some discomfort when you are like positioning yourself. But you know how doctors are always like, you're just going to feel a pinch. It's going to be a little bit of pressure. Liars. Okay, so what I'm going to use is the Devinah Cosmetics Phantasia palette. This is their first like curated palette. It comes with 4 mattes and 5 shimmers. The mattes sort of anchor the palette on the outer edges, and then you've got the shimmers down the middle and across. So I was playing around with this yesterday. What I've noticed so far is that the mattes are very light and very powdery. Light on me, on my skin tone. And the shimmers have a lot of fallout. Like, everything kind of has a lot of fallout, which I have experienced with Devinah. So I'm hoping to just play around with it and see how I feel. I can tell that this isn't going to be like a standalone palette. This is going, for me, this is going to be something I like use with other palettes. Yeah, so let me do a quick swatch of the shimmers. And then okay, this wasn't smart. Okay. You get the picture, okay? So there's that. And so let's just play around with stuff. I also did pick up their new eyeshadow primers, and new as in I don't believe they've had any before. So this first one, Prelusion, which is in the black packaging, this is the regular like eye base primer, and then this one is Specular, which is a sparkle and shimmer glue base. So a lot of times with their like shimmers and things like that, multi-chromes, duochromes, all that good stuff, they do suggest that you use a glitter glue, glitter base. Typically I would use my NYX glitter glue, but I'm going to stick with trying this. I've already tried both of these, but I wasn't in a good mood yesterday, so I was like, maybe that's what was influencing the looks I was creating. Are you like that? Does your mood just like influence all aspects of your life? Because mine does. All right. Okay. I pulled out some of my Viseart matte palettes, got those, and then I think I want to grab here it is, sorry about that, the Gothic palette from Cosmic Brushes, because I feel like this is maybe a deeper kind of version of the Phantasia palette. Let me put them together. So I feel like look at that. I think these would be good companion palettes, right? Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go in with the Prelusion eye base. Okay, so I went to get my lady bits checked out, so I hope that you all do the same. Go get your bits and pieces checked at your doctor. And they gave me a referral for my first ever mammogram. So like they put it into the system, like the request or whatever, and like immediately I got a text message and a phone call from the radiology place like, we just got a message that you need to schedule an appointment with us. And so I was like, dude, okay, like chill out. And I didn't get a chance to do it that first day because I had like clients after my appointment. But like the next day, I think I got another message and I'm like, okie dokie, I'm gonna schedule an appointment. So I went online and I didn't really like the scheduling process. I wanted to be able to just, it just was a little confusing, but I was able to schedule, and I scheduled it for today. So literally it's less than a week after I had my bits and pieces checked. Okay, so let's start with the Gothic palette. Where do we want to start? I'm debating like all of the deeper shades. So there's this black Gothic, which has like some shimmer in it. There's this shade, which I really like. Phantom. Okay, why don't we... Let's start with this one here. That is Alter. So scheduled the appointment, read the like what to know before your mammogram thing, and it was just like, don't wear any lotions or deodorants or perfume, anything on that day, and try to wear like 2 pieces so that you can easily like take your shirt and your bra off. And I was like, got you. That's so easy. I typically wear like yoga pants and a t-shirt to like all of my doctor's appointments. Do you dress up? Because I'm like, they're probably going to ask me to take everything off, so let's make it easy. Sometimes I wear like a dress if I can just throw something on, you know? Anyway, so I saved the information for the appointment. I saved it on my calendar on my computer, and I thought that it would sync directly to the calendar on my phone. It didn't. So last night I was like, oh, let me make sure, let me see. So I was deciding between an 8 o'clock and an 8:20 appointment. I was like, oh, let me double check and see how long it's gonna take me to get there. And I opened my calendar and there's nothing there. It's not on the calendar. So I'm like, what? Open my calendar on my phone. So I'm just like, okay, shoot. Like maybe I'm just doing something wrong. So I'm still looking, I'm like, I closed the app, I turned the phone off, I like booted it up again, and nothing. Okay, so now I'm freaking out. So I'm like, okay, well maybe I'll just go back into the history on my computer and try to find the information. So I do that, and like I can get to the website, but of course I've been logged out. I can't see what happened, you know? So then I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Why isn't it there? So I just somehow decided to click on the calendar on my computer, and there it is. And I'm like, okay, this is weird, right? So I go to like try to transfer it to my phone. It just, y'all, it took it took so long. Like you would think I've never used a computer and I've never used a phone. Anyway, so this morning I get up. It's only supposed to be like 20 minutes from me. What I didn't realize was that it snowed last night, so there was ice on the car. So I had to sit there and let the car warm up, and I had to scrape the ice off, blah, blah, blah. But luckily, I had decided I was going to try to get there early anyway because I tend to get lost. So I always factor in time to get lost, especially if it's a new place I'm going to. So I managed to get there, and I got there okay. Like, I didn't get lost or anything. But then when I got to the building, I had a feeling I wasn't supposed to go in the door I went in through, but I did. And on the, you know how they have like a list of whose office is where? So on the board, it says whatever radiology, outside entrance only. And I'm like, does that mean I'm supposed to go back outside? And so I'm like, nah, they wouldn't tell you to do that, right? So I get up to the second floor, and I'm like standing at the check-in place, and the lady's like, give me 1 second. And I'm like, okay, thanks. And then she's like, what's your name, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, what is it again? What time is your appointment? And I was like, oh, it's supposed to be for 8:20 for a mammogram, just in the whole waiting area. And then she's like, oh, that's radiology and you have to go outside. And I was like, okay. So I go outside and I find the other entrance on the other side of the building, and I go in, and there are just so many people there, right? So I check in, I sit down, wait. And then they finally call my name to go. It felt like I was at the DMV. It was really interesting how they had things set up. So they have me in the system, but something was messed up. So I don't know. There was just a lot of shenanigans going on. Finally, they get me all settled. And they asked if I wanted to do the like AI imaging. And I was like, yeah, because my doctor, who I trust completely, told me that I should. So I did. So I sit there, like it's just taking a minute, whatevs. Because, you know, I always factor in, like, it's going to take a lot longer than they say, right? Why is that? It's like historical with doctors, right? But see, in my profession as a doctor and a psychologist, people not gonna wait 30, 40 minutes, right? So anyway, so they finally call me. I've definitely been sitting there for about 45 minutes, an hour. And they call me, I go in, and then Melinda, I think was her name. She was really nice. She walked me into this little area. There were like 4 little like dressing rooms. And so she was like, you know, take everything from the waist up off and tie the gown in the front. You can put your stuff in the locker and lock it, or you can just bring it with you. I was like, I'm gonna put everything in the locker because I had like my bag, my phone, my shirt, my bra, you know, all this stuff. I'm like, I'm not gonna tote that around. So I do that. And on the locker, it's like that you have to choose a 4-digit number and remember it to like lock your stuff in. So I'm fidgeting, like fooling around with this lock. I pick an easy 4-digit number and lock the thing. And I was like, well, let me try and make sure I can unlock it. Nope. I must have forgotten the number that quickly, or I don't know. So I'm like, well, what are we gonna do? Because now boobs are out. I just got the gown on. Everything is in the locker. And I'm like, you know what? I can't be the only one that this has happened to. No way, no how, right? So I'm just like, okay, whatever. So I sit down and wait for the lady to call me. And she finally does. First thing I say is, I can't open the locker. And she's like, it's okay. We'll get someone to get it for you. I'm like, all right. So then she asks like all these questions about my history, family history, all that good stuff. Oh, maybe you want to know. The questions are like, have you ever been diagnosed with any sorts of cancers? Do any particular ones run in your family? So if you've never done this, you want to try to research that information. And like ages and stuff, if there are any diagnoses you're aware of. Then they ask if you're like breastfeeding, when your last menstrual cycle is, like all this stuff that you probably have in your head, right? And then I had to take off my glasses, so now I can't see nothing. I guess I could have worn my contacts. Anyway, so there's this big machine. It looks like a robot. And there's like a plastic, like, not plastic, like almost like a plexiglass kind of cover thing. You know how that Natasha Denona's I Don't Need a Nude palette that has that like that plexiglass cover on it? It's like that. So it's like this, right? And so it's a big machine. It's big, right? And so there's this big opening. He's in big. There's opening, and it's almost like a plate, like this, but a little bit bigger. So as you go in, you intuitively know that's where the breast is gonna go, right? So on the floor, there's like outlines of feet where you're supposed to stand, you know, those things. And then there are like pedals on either side for the technician. I'm gonna go into the black. Oh, but before they do that, before they flop your boobies into the machine, they check your breasts, like a visual kind of lift it up, let's look. And if there are any things that they notice, they might put a little like sticker on it. Now, I had been told that you get a sticker for your nips. I didn't get one. I was fine, girl. I don't care. So I wasn't worried about that. So first things first, you have to, they've got an image like every side of your breast, right? They have to do the front, they have to do the side, they have to do this side. So the most uncomfortable part was just getting in the right position for things, right? Now, when I was younger, I thought that getting a breast exam would be like horrendous. They're gonna smash your boob until it's like as thin as a a crepe. And maybe it used to be, but honestly, y'all, it was not as like traumatizing, if at all, that I thought it would be. That I feel like that's what I was told. So the way it feels to me more uncomfortable when rosé like gets on my chest. But let's say you're trying to mimic the pressure, because it is pressure. I'll give them that. Take off your bra, take your boob, the underside, and then take your hand and like smush. That's what it feels like. And it's like a panini press, but the material, it's not like steel plates or anything. It's like that plexiglass material. So they like smush it a little bit. It's not even a lot to me. Like they just smush it. And then they tighten it just a little bit. And so you just feel like your boob is, here's a demonstration. You just feel like your boob is flattened just a little bit. But honestly, if you have bigger breasts and you have to like move stuff around to put the bra on and such, y'all, I don't think it's that bad. Now, I would not necessarily want to go get one every day, but my boobs have been in worse situations. So, yeah. So the only thing is, okay, I'm going to go in, I think, with the glitter glue one. So they do have to position you, right? So the machine is like right here. Have you been to the eye doctor? So you know how they make you put your chin in the thing and you have to like lean up and stuff? I get my eye exam every year, okay? Because I had eye surgery when I was 2. So that's what it feels like, but with your boobs. Yeah. Let's see how this works. Get a little bit out. Ooh, a lot of bit out. And I'll put it here because we'll just put the shimmer right there. And if you've had your mammogram, I hope you have, and you consistently go, let me know if your experience has been different. Okay, so they have to get you into a couple of positions to be able to get the images right, right? So the first one, or however they are going to do it, but they flap it down, and then you have to hold your breath. And then they do the of the imaging, right? And then they're like, breathe. That's how it is. So they do that. And then they have to do, you have to like come around to the side and they put the boob in. And then you have to like grab on to the back of the machine. This is where it's uncomfortable because your body has to also be like this and your boobs have to be like that, and then you're holding that, right? And your face is mushed against the plexiglass thing. So that was the most uncomfortable, like the lady at my gynecologist office said. That was the most uncomfortable part. I'm gonna go into this one here. Because it was just awkward positioning. Like it was just awkward to like be like, ugh. And then she was like, okay, stick your butt out. Like, so it was just like, that was the most awkward. So we did the right boob first. And doing the several times, right, to get every single angle, and then they have to get the inside part, because I was like, how are they gonna get that part? So this, you still gotta do this, but you're like this, and then your face is against the thing. So then they do that, and then they do the other boob, they do the left boob, and you're like standing there with bated breath, because you're like, are they gonna see something? I can't see what they're doing. Is she saying anything? Is she making any notes? Right? You're just going through it. And then that's it. Like, y'all, for real, that was it. Like, there was nothing else to do. That was it. Got my boobs smashed. It was fine. Wasn't a big deal. And yeah, here I am. I'm going to go in with, I think, this shade here. Now, I want you to see, can you see how powdery that is? And then, it's powdery. I don't know, it just seems very powdery to me. For me, I can't go straight from pan to eye. Like, can you see the kick up there? Which is fine. I'm fine with a powdery shade or powdery eyeshadow, but this is just more than I've ever experienced. So these, I believe, matte shades are going to be more of blending out shades for me, because they're just relatively like light, you know? But good for blending out, I think. Okay, so I'm going to do the other side, do the rest of my face, and then come back. So here is the finished look. I really liked using this palette as a companion palette. I think that's how I'm going to continue to use it. I might even... These pans are the typical 26mm pans, and they are magnetic. So you can definitely pop them out and rearrange things if you like, or if you have other singles. If they're just your regular run-of-the-mill size singles, you can put them in here and kind of create your own palette. So I might do that, because I really enjoy doing that just in general. Now, I do find these mattes still be a little light on my complexion, and so I think they're going to be good for blending things out. And also, they're very powdery. Not that it's a super big deal for me, but they're just real powdery. So let me know if you've tried the mattes from Devinah. I'm really glad that I paired it with the Cosmic Brushes Gothic palette. And I think if you're wanting to do a more purple type look, if you have some of those deeper mattes, if you're wanting that deeper like outer V, then I think you can totally make the palette work. I don't think it's a need, especially if you have other Devinah Cosmetics shadows. I don't know that you need to go out and like buy these immediately, or buy this immediately. And in terms of the rest of my face, I actually just used some concealer. I used the Yves Saint Laurent concealer in DN5. I spot corrected with it, and then I used DN1 under my eyes and kind of in this T-zone area. I went in with the Givenchy powder. This is the deepest one, and yeah, did a little bit of contour, bronzer, all from the Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette. And my blush is the Milani Blushing Berry Cheek Kiss blush. Lip gloss is this like old Essence gloss that I've had forever, and it is called Flirt Alert, which is perfect for me. Okay, so let me know if you picked up this palette. Let me know if you have any other Devinah Cosmetics, and if you've had experience with their mattes, tell me how that has been for you. Maybe I need to apply them in a different way. Oh, and so far I do like the primers. Everything is everywhere right now. I do like the primers. I'm going to definitely keep using them. I still really like my Colored Rain primers. I have like all of them and definitely use them probably every time I do my makeup. But I'm glad to have these now as just other primers. I can't find the other one. And I'm glad to add another glitter glue to the NYX one. I definitely will compare how they perform. I'm so used to the NYX glitter glue, but it'll be good to like compare and contrast the one from the one from Devinah Cosmetics. Okay. So again, let me know your experience. I hope that this was helpful in some way, and I also hope that you are continuing to take care of yourself. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Please be sure to like the video, and I would love it if you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.